Hi, I'm Damien. This is Enneagram Life. So today I'm going to talk about this idea that the past has created who we are now. So it's quite a sort of intuitively logical idea. And the reason I'm talking about it is because so many people mention this when you talk about the Enneagram or anything related to psychology. They go on with statements, this is just my notes, statements like, we know they got that from the way they were raised, or I can usually find an incident in their childhood that made their personality develop this way. So, yeah, it's just this idea that the way you are now is because of what happened to you in your past, and often they mean in a person's childhood. So, off the bat, I am not saying that idea is wrong. Sometimes that idea is right and sometimes it's wrong. But what I'm really talking about is that people, definitely in the Enneagram circles, overuse that idea. They talk about it when it's either not applicable or it's obvious. I remember one guy said one of those kind of statements like, I can usually find an incident in their childhood that made their personality develop this way. He said that in a Facebook comment, and then another person replied, "You don't know the Enneagram, do you?" And I remember thinking, oh yeah, that's very true. Like, a lot of the time, people who say that don't know the Enneagram, that make that comment. Because it's one of those really general comments that people that don't have specific knowledge, like they don't have specific knowledge about the Enneagram, but they feel that they're an intelligent person that has insight to offer on, anything relating, any psychology related field or personality related field. So they chime in with that, something along the lines of, oh, well, that's because your parents must have been blah, blah, blah. That's why you're blah, blah, blah now. Yeah, so often you'll hear that kind of thing. And it does very often signify a lack of knowledge about the Enneagram. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. In some instances, the past has influenced your behavior, and in some instances it hasn't. But there's just too much fixation on that. Like, I remember Anthony Robbins, he's a famous motivational speaker, and once he was talking about that, he said that he said something along the lines of people are way too fixated on why we are the way we are, rather than how to change the way we are. Yeah, and also, really importantly, like, there is a chemical component to the way we are, the way our personality is. There's a chemical component, a genetic component that doesn't come from the way that we were raised. It's not about the nurture. That's the way we were raised. It's about the nature. It's an inborn chemical genetic component that affects the way we are. And often, depending on the particular traits, it's a combination of nature and nurture. But I'm not going down that line. I'm not going into there now. This video is simply saying that people that are saying that are often people that they don't know the Enneagram, and they're just saying it because they want to chime in and feel like they're being, they're given this insightful thing. And maybe that is insightful to the population at large when you come out with that statement or some version of the statement of, oh, they are the way they are because of how they were raised. When you have some version of that statement, maybe you are being an insightful person to the general population. But the Enneagram knowledge is, anyone that knows the Enneagram has already they should have, like, to know the Enneagram, it'd be very hard not to have that general baseline understanding of ideas like nature versus nurture and all of that kind of stuff. So really, if you are out there fixating on that idea and constantly thinking to yourself or saying to others, well, his parents raised him this way and therefore he became that, something along the lines of, oh, he's a quiet guy because his dad yelled at him when he made noise as a kid. Like, if you're making these kinds of statements, you really, in Enneagram circles, odds are you need to know all 9 types, because that is the fundamental basis of seeing the world through the lens of the Enneagram. It's knowing, or just the ability to see the world through the lens of the Enneagram. It's knowing all 9 types, not just knowing your type or your spouse's type or your boss's type. And so much Enneagram literature, it focuses on what's your type, because they want to sort of suck you in to engaging with their material based on telling you who you are. And there's nothing wrong with that. You certainly need to know who you are. But if you don't know all 9 types of the Enneagram, you absolutely do not know the Enneagram. That's kind of by definition true. So know all types of the Enneagram, and hopefully, let really know it. Like, don't just read all 9 types. Like, know all 9 types, so that you will be able to identify people from any of those 9 types. Know it well, and that alone should take you beyond that level of suggesting to people in inappropriate situations that something has occurred because of an effect from the past, an effect or an effect from the past. Yeah. Anyway, that's about it. Thanks for listening.